Good morning, my name is Sarah and I teach preschool, and when I was going over my curriculum and my notes from my teaching strategies, goals, assessments and stuff, I discovered that our science standards were like kind of the ones that got left behind, and so I wanted some way that I could incorporate science back into our curriculum and to make it more fun and inviting. So through my grant, these are the science standards that I wanted to cover. Knowledge of the characteristics of living things, knowledge of physical properties, and knowledge of the Earth's environment. So those are what I wanted to cover. So my solution was I found a curriculum called Funshine Express. They deliver things to you monthly, and it comes with all of this stuff you see in the picture. So you get like a whole month of art activities that are already pre-cut out, pre-made, so you don't have to spend all your time cutting things out to try and get ready. It comes with, this thing is a calendar, like you put it on your circle time board and you go over your numbers and your shapes and your colors. It comes with a weather wheel, and it comes monthly with a new letter, a new color, a new shape to go over, and so it was really nice to have that already pre-made and not have to do it myself. Okay. So the other thing that it did was it connected STEM, so it had a lot of science, it had a lot of technology, it had a lot of engineering and math that was incorporated into the curriculum. So I love that. So, and the standards that I wanted it to cover, it covered every single one of them. So I thought this would be a great grant to get, and you know, that was one way that I could use my money. So, go ahead. This is an example, like this is one page out of your curriculum guide that you get. So it shows you how you can incorporate this day's worth of dramatic play, your social emotional skills. This is your art activity that you can do. It shows you math and your sensory, movers and shakers, like how you can move in your classroom. It was really nice, and it had lots of songs, and the kids loved all the little songs that came with it because they were already songs that they knew, and they just changed the words to them. So when I was looking at their curriculum, I noticed that in April, it had a thing called Exciting Changes, and I thought, well, that has to do with eggs because it says Exciting Changes. So I knew that I liked hatching chickens in my classroom because the kids really enjoy it, and the first time it wasn't as successful as I hoped it was going to be. But I thought, well, maybe this curriculum can help me incorporate the science and figure it out and, you know, better that curriculum, that theme that I do in my classroom already. So, go ahead. So the first time that I did chicken eggs was in 2014, 2015. We had chicken eggs. we had 30. We only had 5 hatch. That's 16%, not super successful. It was still a lot of fun, and we still enjoyed it, but I was trying to figure out how can I make it better. So along with the curriculum, the ARI grant was like I was able to buy a new incubator. So this was the one we had the first time. It's a steel air incubator, and this is the one that I bought. It has a circulated air, it's fan. It already had an egg turner in it, so that I didn't have to worry about doing any of that. Had LCD display, so you could see the humidity and the temperature, and you know, all the things that you have to monitor when you're doing chicken eggs. So I purchased this one with the ARI grant. So luckily, one of our sub-bus drivers just happens to be a chicken farmer. So he donated us 30 eggs for incubation. So that was really nice to have somebody local who could do that for us. And that way, if anything was to go wrong, he could be there to help out. So here we go. I have lots of pictures. I'm very sorry. So we started our unit with doing a Kwl chart. I wanted to know what the kids knew, what they wanted to know, their questions, all of the good things. And here I started the incubator running, and we had it in the classroom, and they got to explore it before we put any eggs in it. So this was them kind of looking it over and figuring out what they wanted to know about it. So this is our beginning of our Kwl chart. They had lots and lots of questions. One of my favorites was one of the kids says, why do the eggs have to be in the baker? We laughed at that one quite a bit. You can't really read them that well, but they wanted to know why the hens sit on their babies, and how does a mommy chicken sit on one egg without eating, you know, and things like that. So they had really good questions. So day one, this was, he brought us our eggs, and so we were kind of looking them over and trying to see what we had the different colors, the different sizes, different shapes, that kind of thing. And this was us actually putting them in the incubator. And then they got to just explore it and look. I just thought you guys would enjoy their pictures looking at them. And day 1 was great. Our eggs got put in the incubator. It ran wonderful. And then on day 2, disaster struck. Our incubator completely stopped working. Like, just quit, would not come on. I had a panic attack because I couldn't figure out what I was going to do and how I was going to keep these eggs warm. So luckily, my friend Emily, her husband, went out to Tractor Supply and bought us this incubator within 2 hours. So we actually just carefully transferred the eggs from one incubator to the other. And this is the one that we used from the time being. So we did some directed drawings and stuff while the eggs were in the incubator because, they're just eggs, so you can just look at them for so long. So this was, we did a directed drawing of a chicken, and I thought they turned out really, really good with my preschoolers. They were super cute. They floored me with directed drawings. And then this was like a sort that they had to sort different oviparous animals, which is in the next slide, I think. Oh, not the next one, it's coming. So on days 7, 14, and 18, you can candle the eggs and see if they're developing properly. So you can look in, you put this big flashlight underneath it, and it just shines through the egg, and you can actually watch the chicken move, and it's really, really neat. So here you can see, they're all about looking at these eggs. Every day we came in, can we get a chicken egg out? Can we get a chicken egg out? So it was really neat. I don't know if this is going to play. It's a video. Nope. I had a video of a chicken moving inside the egg. I thought that you guys would enjoy that. And she clicks on it, it just goes. It's okay. It's only like 20 seconds. It's not very big. It's all right. It's okay. So as the eggs were in the incubator, it takes 21 days. So we had other objects to study, and through that curriculum, they helped us kind of guide our studies. So we talked about oviparous and non-oviparous animals. Some of my other teachers came in and was like, what is that word? So oviparous is anything that hatches out of a shell, or out of an egg. So they really enjoyed learning about certain ones that hatch out of a shell. So we you can go to the next one, Emily. We really focused on penguins, which is another directed drawing of our penguin. And then this is our frog life cycle. And then the other thing was we did lizards a lot. They liked lizards a lot. So on day 21, we expected our chickens to hatch, but they surprised us and started hatching on day 20, which is okay. So they continue to hatch from days 20 to 22. These are pictures of our actual chickens in the... So you can see he had broke the shell very nicely. Here's this little pip. We liked it. And then the next one was a video of you guys. I was going to show you guys a video of one of our chicks hatching, but that didn't. It's not going to play either. It happens really fast. We had watched a chicken egg all day long, and I said I have to take these kids to lunch, and I knew that by the time we took the kids to lunch and I got back, I said this chicken's going to hatch. And we even were 5 minutes late to lunch because I didn't want them to miss it. And the chicken hatched while I took them to lunch. I took them to lunch, came back to my classroom, and it was there. And I was like, oh my goodness. So that was one of our first little babies. And as you can see, it wasn't just our preschoolers that watched this happen. We had lots of adults come in the classroom. This is actually a student from middle school. She came down after school to see our new chickens in the incubator. So it was like a school-wide phenomenon to see chickens hatch in our classroom. Go ahead, Miss Dim. That's okay. I'm almost done. Bye. So here's just more pictures of our little baby chicks. There's this little brown guy and a black guy. A couple more over there. So this lasted for a good hour and a half. This was when we first took them out of the incubator and put them in the brooder. My brooder was a swimming pool because it already had the sides on it, and it just worked out perfect. So I put pine shavings down at the bottom. But the kids just sat there, and they had 500 questions. And so we just sat there and we answered all their questions, and if they wanted to be there, that's where I was going to be. So once they did finally start moving, though, they started drawing. And so this is Miss Lily, and she drew herself, and this is the incubator. I'm not the incubator, the brooder, and she had little dots for all the little chickens inside of it. This was once they just drew some chicken eggs that they wanted, and this little guy drew the chick in the egg, and this is his little beak. And he drew another one later that had a little pip on there because we had talked about the pip, so I thought that was really neat. Let's see, and then just more drawings. This was Lily's up close. He drew a little chicken. More chickens. He was drawing a chicken, and he moved, but you can see they just sat around and all they wanted to do was draw. Aren't they cute? So this is them during. We ended up with 17 baby chickens out of 30, so that's a pretty good hatch rate. It was much better than the first time I did it because you end up with chicken eggs that aren't even fertilized, so you have to throw those out. And then we did have a couple that started to hatch, and then just things happened, and nature takes its course, and they didn't survive. So that was a good lesson for the kids too. This little girl is actually reading one of the chicken books that we had read in our classroom to the chickens. So the simple answer to the question, did ARI grant achieve what I wanted it to? It did. My Teaching Saturdays Gold assessments are showing that they're learning more science. They're keeping that in there. They are putting that towards their everyday lives. And so I was very happy with my ARI grant. I was very happy with my curriculum. They are, this year, I have more students that can count to 20, count to 25, count to 30 than I've ever had in any of my other classes. And I think that's all because of the curriculum, because every day we went over a number. Every day we went over, it goes, I think it went to 22 was the little number things that it would give you for the circle time board. So we went over those every day. We went over the letter every day. So I can tell an improvement in my kids, and hatching chickens was just fun.